Greetings, community. It's Kevin of NCBD Comics, and I'm here to bring you another edition of Kevin's most anticipated reads tomorrow for New Comic Book Day, 6/5/2024. And yeah, here we are. What's more, this week, as in it's going to seemingly be every week, is the list is getting longer and longer and longer. We're getting definitely into the summer, fall extravaganzas. They're going to be heavy laden with spider characters and symbiotes. And predominantly, that's going to be what you're going to see. Like I said, the majority of the stories in which that are going to be these major extravaganza, these major events, yeah, that's what they're going to revolve around. Now, prior to which that I go ahead and read off my list, I want to go ahead and acknowledge those that decide to go to cruise on in on the live. Started off, we got Las Cruces, who seems to be just number one and every time on that chat. I don't know how he does it, but somehow his notification bell's on. I'm telling you that right now. So, hey, I appreciate Las Cruces as always. And Christina with a mighty wrench throwing around left, right, and saying hi to all that decided to cruise on through. I appreciate you just as well. Now, moving on from there, we're going to talk about our list. And our list is, like I said, rather long. Let's start off over on the Marvel side. We're going to talk about Amazing Spider-Man issue number 51. I just read 50. It was essentially 3 parts with a little tail end. If you didn't miss the tail end, which was part of the main storyline, you're actually missing something rather almost poignant. It really, the whole story of 50 was one aspect, but that little aspect at the end really kind of summarized everything that was transpiring and led you into what's going to happen. Now, what I'm getting at 51. Now we're going to see a Spider Goblin. I didn't ruin anything. Come on. If you've been reading this, you know what's been going on and you know where Normie's heading. There's gas everywhere and we're not talking farts. It turns out to be just as funny because it's just turning into one laughy little Spider-Man little insertion from Normie into Peter. And we're not talking because it's Gay Pride Month. We're talking about he actually left in an aspect of him to go ahead and turn when he gave him this little trigger word, sentence, trigger sentence, word. I can't remember now, but I just read it last night. Now, what I'm getting at is, holy macro, if this is what we got going on, then from here and the next 2 issues, and then the next 4 after that, are all revolving around what's transpiring, which was the setup for the past year and a half. Yeah, just saying. I mean, that's really what all this culminated to. So that's why Amazing Spider-Man issue number 51 is way up there on my list. Just saying. Moving on from that, we're going to talk about Blood Hunters, issue number 2. As I made mention, I read a lot of books last night, one of which was Blood Hunters, issue number 1. This is way cool. And again, much like I was saying before, look at you, girl. I appreciate you much. The whole Blood Hunters thing is, we're halfway through this event, and now we're really seeing what's the meat of it, using a vampiric term, what's really transpiring. And wow, the gory mess that has transpired, and supposedly what it was initialized from Blade from so long ago. And as it just be the plot, are we talking what, 20 some odd years in the Blade's been, there's no way. I don't know what's been going on, but now that we're seeing that supposedly Blade has been planning this for like decades, this is gnarly and wild and something I didn't even see coming. Brian Hill's doing a wonderful job on Blade alone, let alone what he's been doing is his contribution to set up all this Blood Hunter stuff. So I'm just digging everything that's been coming out with this whole event. So that's why Blood Hunters issue number 2 is way up there for me, and I hope for you. Moving up from that, we're going to talk about Carnage issue number 8. I read 7 last night, and damn, we're seeing something, a new weapon that we've never seen before. Hopefully, this is going to be something that can be able to utilize against Carnage. We need something. He's all godlike, and it's just once he starts meeting up with Brock, and we already saw kind of what he's been doing, everyone else surrounding him. Oh my God, we need help. We need help because Carnage is all but unstoppable at this point. I know a couple of which that can do it, and finally we get to see Misery join the fight. So hopefully this will end up knocking down Carnage a little bit, and we're going to see what happens in this Carnage 8. Moving on from that, we're going to talk about Ghost Rider, Final Vengeance, issue number 4. We're going to see a lot of number 4s coming out in this week. I'm just saying, you'll see as I get down my list. Issue number 4 really now as a result of after we found out in the first two issues, holy macatoonie. Now, what really is heating up, hell of a reading thing, is this whole Ghost Rider thing is it's exactly what I was hoping for. When we end up finding out Hood was end up being this Ghost Rider and he's doing the shit that he's doing, I think that a lot of collectively speaking, a lot of these Ghost Riders now have to reevaluate what they've been doing and why they've been doing it. Just saying. So this writing really kind of throws a spin on a lot of stuff, and it's just been really enjoyable. It's been one of my fun rides, and I can't get enough. So moving out from Ghost Rider Final Vengeance issue number 4, we're going to talk about What If Venom issue number 5. It seems like the whole goal of this whole Venom trip has been on to get to Moon Knight, seemingly. Now the cool thing is this is issue number 5, and this finalizes this whole what if, and it's been nothing but fun for me. I've been digging this whole thing, and the way it's been hopping from individual to individual has been more than fun. I'm just saying that it's been really interesting to see what when an individual allows themselves to go ahead and just cut loose and don't have to adhere to canon. It's kind of cool. Just saying. So these what if stories have been really fun for me, and especially being that it's all symbiote based, I can't get enough. But even though it's issue number 5, I guess this is it. So I'm curious to see when it's seeming like it was this whole goal to get to here. I want to see what here is. Just saying. So what if Venom issue number 5 comes out tomorrow, 6/5/2024. Moving out from that, we're going to talk about Ultimates issue number 1. Here we go. I think this is something we've been waiting on. Again, this is something that we actually had, if you don't recall. And I don't know if what we're going to get is like a new retelling or if this is a new version or if this is an expand. I'm curious. So I'm saying that's why it's kind of high on my list of my anticipated reads is because I kind of already read. Now I know this is supposed to be slightly different, but I can't wait to compare. I got my old Ultimates. I'm waiting for my new Ultimates. It's going to be such an ultimate amount of fun. I can't wait. So again, Ultimate is coming out. What issue number 1 tomorrow, 6/5/2024. Let's move on from that. Talk about Wolverine Blood on issue number 1. Wolverine joins the fight. I'm just saying. And what we've been learning, and really, it's all seeming like it's coming down to one individual that everyone's trying to be after, and it's Bree. Who would have thunk? Bloodline is going to be one of the major, how should I say, individuals that can either save or destroy what's going on. Seemingly, that's what's going on. So Wolverine is supposedly also one of these special individuals that seem like the oh god, I forgot that whole vampire clan. Anyways, are after. So we got Smoke, Agony, Misery, all these individuals that are going and are now after Wolverine along with Bree. So I'm curious to see what's special about him and how he joins the fight and ends up more likely end up joining with her. That's what I'm seeing coming down the road. Doesn't matter. I'm digging all this shit anyway. So again, Wolverine Blood Hunt issue number 1 coming out tomorrow. Hit up your LCS. I'm just saying, all this Blood Hunt stuff's been really fun. I haven't read actually one issue that's been bad yet. Doesn't matter if it's been a supporting thing or the main role. It's been awesome. But moving on from that, we're going to talk about Venom issue number 34. Have I meant Blood Hunt stuff yet? Have I mentioned that? Here we go with some new vampires that are seeming like they're sucking on the symbiote suckers. That sounds funny. Kind of like a succubus for symbiotes. Yeah. So again, we're going to like take a deviant turn when it comes to this whole Venom storyline, when really we need to get into the whole Venom war and everything is going to transpire after that, and this whole symbiote stuff that's supposed to be coming. But before we get there, let's go ahead and finish out Blood Hunt. And wow, there's actually these vampires that are actually just. I mean, I knew there were predators for symbiotes, but I didn't know that there's so many vampire. Show me. So Venom 34 is pretty high up there on the list. I'm curious. Really, I was just saying. So, okay, moving on from the whole Marvel universe, which again, you've seen, there's enough on that list. And again, Venom 34 coming out tomorrow. Let's go ahead and talk about. Appreciate you. Image. We're going to cruise over to the Image universe, talk about Inferno's issue number 4. Now, this is a joint venture between, I can't remember his last name, Dolan? No. Damn, I almost had it. Anyways, Ryan Parrott and his buddy have been writing together for quite some time. Now, the other individual has not really been taking credit. That's probably why I don't remember his name. But he's actually written on the first of this. Point being, Infernals is a joint venture between these two writers, and it's been actually really cool story. What if the Devil's Dying and he has to find his replacement. And his replacements are his children that he's not really too happy with as far as replacements or his children. Just saying. So his evil ex-wife, Succubus, speaking of which, cruises on in and basically, as she dropped just yesterday as I was reading issue number 3, basically told him not only does she take life, but she can give it. I didn't know succubi can do that. I seriously? So if they take an essence, they can actually give essence? That's unique. It must take from themselves too. Deviating. Sorry. Let me get back to the point. Inferno's issue number 4 is a journey in which that I really didn't think I'd be taken. The hell. Now I'm back. So I really been enjoying the fun that Ryan and Buddy been doing on this because it wasn't. I really had no plans of buying this story, and I'm having so much fun. This has been really an awesome ride. And now that he's given this ultimatum, meaning the devil, at the end, and his best buddy is basically turned on him and said his major alliance is really that to hell and the devil there. Holy shit, hell's breaking loose. So enough of the puns, and I'm really saying that this is really actually an awesome storyline. If you're not already picking it up, it's good. Wait for the trade. It really is worth the wait, and it really is worth the read. So Infernos, issue number 4, is coming out tomorrow. Moving on from that, on the image side, let's cruise over to Philadelphia, issue number 36. The only issue I have with Philadelphia is the fact that being that Rodney Barnes has been so busy, I feel that it's been kind of hurting the release dates on some of these books. They haven't been as, I don't know, on time. The timely basis of this is my only issue. As far as the storyline is concerned, I can't get enough. Seriously, Philadelphia is one of those enjoyable reads that in and of itself is kind of its own world. Now, it is bringing in a little bit of Spawn, and it is bringing in a little bit of Savage Dragon, but mostly to its universe and not the universe adapted to it, meaning to Spawns and Savage. What we're seeing is, and again, for those of you not reading this, I'll try to briefly summarize, is we're getting historical background that has been majorly influenced by classical monsters. And what we're getting is this now hostile takeover of a couple of particular breeds that want to go ahead and feel it's their time to rule the world. I think I kind of got it. So anyways, what we're seeing is these classical monster struggles. Who's gonna win, who's gonna lose, who's subservient to who, and who feels that it's the right way to live and which type of class and sector and so forth. Really what we're getting is we're also getting modern day views of class and, how should I say, not just wealth, but sometimes in a form of different religions that are also spoken different ways and pointed at in different symbols. And we're also getting, you're seeing a lot of everything that we see in modern day, which has been really fun because it's not only bringing it back and giving you historical background on why we believe this way, but also it's also pointing at in symbolic ways and why we still do, even though monsters had nothing to do with it, just the monsters inside. You know what I'm saying? Just saying. So that's why Philadelphia has been so much fun for me to read. Is symbolic. It's metaphorical. It's a whole lot of fun, and there's more times than not, it's very poignant what's actually transpiring today, and it's just a journey and a half. I'm just saying. Philadelphia, issue number 36, coming out tomorrow, 6/5/2024. Screws over to The Last Mermaid. Now, I'm all about like heartstrings and shit like that type stories. So when I was getting privy to a little bit of The Little Mermaid, I instantly fell in love. This is a story more of picture than it is of dialogue. And believe me when I say it, pictures in this type of story is definitely worth 1,000 words. We're getting to see struggles in which that we see in our own, again, getting back to kind of the symbolicness in our own daily lives, but we're seeing it in a way in a post-apocalyptic world and into a fantasy creature in which that it doesn't really relate, but definitely applies. What we're seeing is an interesting story that we all have when we're in our daily struggles of just wanting to have a place to live, sustenance, safety. That's what this being's going through. And it's really interesting to see that the monsters and the stuff that are coming out in this world, because sometimes our own inner demons look just as ugly. I'm just saying. And the beauty of this story is so awesome that every time I end up picking up this book, it tends to bring not only a smile, but one of compassion. it isn't just joy. It's just an understanding of life and love. And that's why I really like this story. The Last Mermaid, issue number 4, coming out tomorrow. I know it's going to be wrapping up soon, but it's a beautiful tale that I highly recommend to all. Seriously. And if I can, just take a moment to acknowledge those that are still here. Appreciate you hanging out. Dude, Air Spider. If I told you I love you lately, you the man. just saying. Well, thank you. Thank you. All right. Let's cruise out, people. Let's cruise out from the image world and let's cruise on over to IDW. IDW is giving us TMNT Alpha, issue number 1. That is like a one-shot setup. This is an ultimate tease. Speaking of which, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Oh, look at that. Now, this comes out tomorrow. Or to some, maybe even today. This is the 1 in 10. I'm a huge Jenica fan. And Jenica, I mean, look how she's awesome on this cover. So I just had to get this cover. And really, I am really anticipating how Aaron approaches this book. There's so many contributors onto this book, and yes, there's a one-shot set, and it's mostly a tease setting us up for what is supposed to transpire. I guess the story is kind of like what it would be without the world, the other way around. What would the world be without the turtles? What would the turtles be without the world? That would be an interesting one. So I'm curious, and not only this, but I'm also seeing, again, mostly not just the story, which obviously I want to read, but how the story is approached and told. This is Aaron's first contribution to the Turtles that I know of, and I'm really interested because I know his excitement towards the story is just seemingly overwhelming, meaning on his behalf. That it seems like he's posting something every other day, and as we get closer to the actual release, dang, I'm just saying he's stoked. So am I. I can't get enough. I even get the free comic book day stuff. Anyways, back to what I'm talking about. Tomorrow, 6/5/2024, out of the IDW, we got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Alpha issue number 1, one shot coming out with the setup for the whole stuff that's coming out at the end of the month. I know there's like 2 signing events that I'm going to where I'm going to see Aaron, and I can't wait. So, yeah, this is just wetting the whistle. All right, moving out from the whole IDW, and let's go over the Oni Press. Why we're going to talk about something maybe you guys already know. There's a book coming out that's based off a video game called The Cult of Lambs. Cult of Lamb? Cult of Lamb. Yeah. I know nothing of this. For those of which that you, I guess, already know of this and play this game, you know way more than I do. And this thing struck me as cute as hell. And if my memory serves me correct, I believe I ended up reading an article that was kind of being handed around a little bit about how it was being adapted and it's being in production. Now that I'm thinking about it, I actually got to look it up right after this. So my understanding is it's being retold. This is its first comic. I believe there's a whole new video game coming out of it, and I believe now a movie. So I'm all about this. And as far as some of the shops that I know are concerned, they knew nothing of this. I know one shop that only grabbed 2 copies, because of which I grabbed 1. I was hoping to get the 1 in 10, but it looks like that ain't gonna happen. Well, at least not tonight. So I'm totally looking good in this. It looks cute as hell. The story is supposed to be the last lamb on Earth. Besides, I think the sacrifice itself makes a pact with the devil and comes back. Something like that. Sounds awesome. And Alex Packnadell writes, so you can't go wrong. Just saying. All right, moving out from Cult of Lamb, and let's cruise over to, well, you may have guessed it. Seriously, this is my Blue Light Special. You know what? I got a new setup, and maybe you're not really seeing the blue as I normally have. I'm just saying. Believe me, it's kind of blue. I don't know. I'm going to work on it. So anyways, my Blue Light Special this week is Kanto, issue number 1. I not only cannot wait to read this book, beyond, the word anticipation falls flat when it comes into the desire in which that I need to read this story. Seriously, 5 years ago, my son and I, we kind of started our whole YouTube journey from this story. Kanto has been a story that's been ongoing now for 5 years. This supposedly is the final volume. This starts the end. And it's weird because I cannot express to you enough how much I desire to read this book, how much it means so much to me personally, and where this book is as far as in its telling is so awesome. Now, again, if I may read the whole story, the whole title. The title is Kanto, a place like home. Now, this is a nod to the Wizard of Oz. No place like home. David Boer's one of his favorite all-time stories is The Wizard of Oz. He actually has a original version, first printing, way back, like early 1900s, and this type of format is something that he kind of modeled off of The Wizard of Oz, and to again play homage and as a nod to the story. He's been on writing this thing ongoing for years. It wasn't originally supposed to be this big. But I'm so glad and I'm so grateful that not only so many people out there like you are supporters of this book to allow David to be able to tell it in its entirety, maybe more, in the way it's supposed to be told, but it's allowed me to be able to enjoy this journey, seemingly not only with David, but with Drew and Aston and everyone else that's been doing this journey with him. It's been fun. It's been enjoyable. It's been meaningful. If you don't know the story of Kanto, it's a story of a clockwork knight whose sole purpose was to seek out a shrouded man, wizard, to find the heart to bring back for his love, who was dying because her heart was damaged. And that encapsulates the whole meaning and the whole story of really what Kanto is all about. So for me, Kanto is not only something that I desired beyond almost any other story, but it's just something that was almost now part of me. So yeah, my most anticipated read, which I now have read, is Kanto, No Place Like Home. And that's it for me. That's your P. Take care.